little design here last time. I don't think you've changed it, have you? No? It's still the same? Okay. I don't know. I think it could be visually better. I don't know where to look, and it's in pencil. I think maybe if that idea that you had of, or the way you explain, I like that about the octopus, and then it doesn't work very well, and then it becomes a squid. You've got that little thing, you know, the prototype that you have there. That wasn't shown enough, so that I could have the picture in my head. So maybe you can have the octopus and that, so that people can see exactly what you mean when you say that. Then I would like to say that your introduction, great, well done. I think it was good, the way you came up and the way you introduced yourself. And man, I love that visual of the sea. It was keeping everybody glued. But then after that, you lose us. You don't connect to us at all. So I don't feel this connection with any of you because you don't make eye contact. We spoke about that last time. You are reading. I always say to people, when you present, it's not reading. There's a difference between presenting and reading. And if you're reading it, then you can just as well give all of us that page, copy it and give it to us, and we can all read it. Because we can read it. So please don't read. Please try and just summarize a little bit of what you are going to say, and then say it loud and clearer. All of you tend to not make enough eye contact, and all of you tend to speak too softly. So I don't know if they're going to give you some sort of amplifying mic or something there, so you can be heard. But if you're not heard, you are not communicating. Then, as much as I like the visual, so much I didn't like your visuals that you used there. One couldn't make out anything. It was just dark blobs. And then it detracts instead of helping. So either it has to be a bigger thing that we can see in color, or you can just have the word, because the words that you had was small, but it was clear what you were saying. Somebody kept up creates, somebody kept up whatever the word is of what you're doing. Now I like that idea. So I would rather go that way if you don't have images, you know, have the word a little bit bigger so that everybody can see what you wanted to say. If you use the word iterate to identify or whatever the case may be. Let me just see here. So my biggest problem with you guys is the connection with the audience, right? You come up, you have a nice little show, you give an expectation that we're going to connect with each other, and then it doesn't happen, and then it makes one feel a little bit disappointed. So, and that you've worked hard on that prototype, so you can use it more. Yeah, more visual aids to help with you having such soft voices, and then more content, more thinking that you're speaking to human beings and that you have to connect with them so that they can also be pulled into what you are saying. Okay, but well done. Here you go. It's much better, but it's still, I can feel the nerves when you use it, so practice it more.
Okay, so I would just throw up some few ideas when you want to sell something, because basically what we are doing here, we are selling this idea. So probably if perhaps you would have your prototype on our table that you did with your storyboard, something like that would have actually helped you, so that whoever is responsible to explaining whatever parts that will be attached in your prototype can engage with us. And also try to understand the information that you are reading, so that you don't necessarily have to be always facing the paper instead of actually making eye contact. And then that also gives us an understanding that you actually know what you're talking about. You understand, you did your research, you understand what you're trying to sell, and it gives us that clear understanding that, okay, these are children or learners have actually done their research, and they are proud to come and say, this is what we think is going to work. You see, but all in all, your energy at the beginning is extremely, extremely amazing. And then during your presentation, you somehow rely too much on the information that you have in your head, and then you start losing the whole idea that you're trying to sell. So I still am a bit confused, but I'm assuming that it is a great idea that you guys are trying to sell. But if you can find ways on how you can engage with us so that we understand. Because remember, you're the only one that understands, not the judges. I don't know what you are trying to sell, so you need to make sure I do know. That's the whole point of actually presenting your idea. You see? Thank you.
So, like Estelle was saying, maybe put it next to, because you're referring to this design there. I guess it's because you want to lift it up and hold it in your hand, but perhaps even put it on the judge's table or let someone hold it. I think it would be better if somebody holds it so that when you do refer to it, we can see. Because now I'm wondering, what is that? Yeah.
That's supposed to be a prototype. We're still working on it, but that's going to be the actual size of the robot.
I see. Okay. So when you're bringing something, you need to tell us what it is, because when you were talking prototype, you could have perhaps then pointed to this one and say that was version 1 and this is Squirrel Kid 2.0. You know, just make us aware of what we are looking at. Someone might be would have thought that's a decoration, but it's not. It's obviously your prototype. I don't mind that it's incomplete. You've got the week to finish it, but you could have just told us, look, that's the size of the robot, and you could have gone into that. Your project is cool. Your energy coming in, and at your ending, it draws the eye. The challenge is when you are soft-spoken. You need to remember people need to hear you, and if we are trying so hard to hear what you are saying, we're not going to hear you. We're not going to catch what you're saying because we're struggling to hear you. So maybe up the volume, up the engagement. It's fine if you were refining your presentation in terms of what you want to say, but please use this week to really practice, so then make it more of a conversation, a sales pitch, rather than bedtime story reading from your cue cards. It does take away from our impression, you know, of your understanding of your project, because when you are reading entirely from the page, it almost comes across as you're not prepared. But having a cue card with just a word to remind you, like hydrodynamic, or I'm not sure what other word there was, but if you know that is the troublesome word and it's coming, order your cue cards and then just, you know, where you need a reminder. Don't rush your whole speech. Put some, set a condition for yourself that you need to know your speech by heart, but don't put so much pressure that you don't want to use cue cards. Even professional speakers need cue cards. They need to remember what the next talking point is. So put bullet points on your cue cards and then refer to that. The minute you put all your words, it almost becomes like a crutch, and because you know all your words are there, you're going to forget the words because you can just read and in the moment. But if you know you only have guides on that cue cards, trust me, your brain's going to remember everything you need to say. So I have nothing to say about the content, it's more about the delivery. And I hope that that's something you can spend a week working on. The beginning and the end, perfect, but just try and speak straight. Yeah. Is that fine? Less reading as well and more eye contact. And put your prototype in the front where we can see. Perfect. Thank you.
Good. I obviously don't have much to say because I spoke to you yesterday about this. So, yes, thank you for listening. The only thing I can do is spend less time saying thanks to mom, thanks to this, thanks to that. It's irrelevant. It's sweet, but it's irrelevant. State your problem, state even how you change your mind, also good, but stick to that. The problem is this, it's very expensive, it's very big. we changed our mind, this is our solution. So it's just that. And also, sorry, and this is going to sound really harsh, but don't say, everyone we spoke to said it was wonderful, because it sounds self-aggrandizing, which is never good. So that's a little harsh, but sorry. Not sorry.
I just want to know about the site. You spoke. This is first what I wanted to say. Maybe you can bring in how big the previous ones are and what your prototype is going to look like as a contrast, right? So you can have something there on the stage. This is what the height and how big it was, not just say it. And this is our prototype. That contrast will be very good because people will immediately see what you're doing. But then I have a question I've been wondering. You spoke about the fact that there is that because of the sea, and you showed us also how bad it can be. Sometimes you can't locate the site. I know divers come up far from the boat. Divers do come up far from the boat when they go down if they don't have proper things. Isn't there a possibility of marking sites? Like they do with, I don't know if there's something available, I'm just thinking now, like they do with animals, that so you can find a line and they know where the pigeon flew and back and everything. So isn't it possible that once a site has been identified, something like that could be there so that people can find it easier? Couldn't that also be something that you could, not that the state look at, but I'm just wondering if there's something like that.
Okay, and another thing with the video thing, it's a very cool idea, but we've been advised that actually projectors and screens won't be allowed in the regionals.
Can we take a laptop in and just show the judges? Because it's 20 seconds.
I think probably we can do it like that, yeah. Because we are trying to practice what we will do also in the regionals, so that we follow all the right procedures, you see. So we can organize on the 18th to have a projector and stuff like that, but I'm not sure if that would be a good investment for this team, especially if they probably make it to go to Cape Town, so that we would love for them to just follow the normal procedures too, you see. But for now we can keep it like that, or if you can find another way, probably, but that's a very cool thing. I want them to have it. Maybe just having a laptop, because they don't actually need the audio, there's no audio, it's just so that's the last thing I wanted to